I have heard a lot about jelly roll race quilts and have kind of ignored them over the years, but have gotten more and more interested in doing that. And I had at one point in time when I was traveling back and forth from Colorado, stopped into a quilt shop in Oakley, Kansas, and she had a Ziploc bag full of 1.5-inch strips, all batiks. It was not a packaged roll. It was just kind of hunks of different ones. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to do 1.5-inch jelly rolls. So I started on Friday. The part that takes the longest is just sewing all your strips together. Once you start sewing them end to end and folding over, then it becomes fun. And by the time I finished with it, I wanted to pull all of my jelly rolls out and just go to town. So
this is
the result. Keeping in mind, this was not a collection of anything, just a hodgepodge. So this is what came out of it.
Yeah, I think this is one of those quilts that you can throw anything together and it's going to work.
I think it's beautiful. Sewed the border on. This is going to be my backing. And
Nice.
I'm anxious to get it finished.
I think it'll keep you awake at night.
As long as those yellows and blues don't glow in the dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun to do.
How long would you say it takes to do just a jelly roll like that?
Well, the theory is that you can get one of these done after you've sewn your strips together. That part doesn't count in the time and the race if you're doing that. They say between 40 minutes and an hour.
You can cut that in half with a serger.
So,
Yeah.
so we had some viewers ask, what is truly a jelly roll? I mean, how's it,
Well, if
made?
you used
What is
a
it?
2.5-inch
A
jelly roll,
yeah.
it would go much faster. Yeah.
So it's
A jelly roll is a collection of fabrics. The strips are 2.5 inches. So if you're getting into quilting or you want to do something quickly,
Nancy.
you can cross cut those. You
Polly.
can run them through your AccuQuilt. They have all of the colors that you need. And for jelly rolls, you're supposed to just unroll this out and then just take them off and start sewing them together. There's no planning. It's random because once you start folding and stitching and folding and stitching, you don't know where it's going to end up in here. And because I had pieces that were random, I've got some brown and greens that kind of clumped together.
It looks like it's planned because you have it on both sides.
and the jelly roll is, that's just the end of what they cut off, right?
Well, no, so Mode is the one that came up with the term jelly roll. I think all of the manufacturers do them.
Hi, Carrie.
So when Moda does a collection of fabric, it's usually 42 SKUs in the colorway. So 42 bolts. And so it's usually, so this one has less than 42 in it because I'm seeing some duplicates. So 40, sometimes it's 38, and they'll put in two of the same color. So it's a strip of fabric from each of the bolts. And it's the same thing with a layer cake. If you want to zoom in here, it'll kind of give you an idea. This is a new collection that's out right now. So there's two that were the same. Almost.
But if you
Nope,
do
they're
them
the
just
same.
random, they'll go together because
Yeah.
that's how it's planned by
Yep.
Moda.
So we did have another question. With the 1.5-inch strips, how many did you use?
I honestly don't know. All I know is there were a lot. And I took pictures of the stages of sewing the strips together with this huge pile of fabric on the floor. And it slowly turned into that. So I believe that there were more of them than if I used a 2.5-inch normal jelly roll.
Oh, much. Because the 2.5-inch jelly roll comes out to about the same size as that one. you stand in front. I'll hold it.
Are you tall enough?
Well, I'm tall enough to hold it with
Got her
Susan.
boots on.
So Susie made her quilt last week from a jelly roll, and she made it in no time at all. And I thought, that's better than a. You're laughing at me.
And it's not a table runner.
It's better than a table runner. So I had a jelly roll at home that I kept moving from place to place and place to place, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I'd never done anything with the jelly roll before, so I went out like Susie on YouTube and found a jelly roll direction, and I put this together. It took me more time than her. I should have taken less. She used really small strips.
Inch and a half.
My fingers are pretty big for that, so I went ahead with my full jelly roll size. But the cat wanted to help a lot too, so I was fighting the cat, and you string this all together in one long strip, and then there's a process you go through where you're folding it and you're cutting it, and I don't know. You have to look at the pattern for it. But it comes out, it's kind of interesting. It comes out with points in it. And the points go different directions. And it just kind of blends together because your jelly roll, all the fabric that's in a jelly roll is made to blend together. They have similar colors and similar themes, except I'm not sure where the upside down birds come from. But these birds are right side up. I wasn't worried about the small stuff.
Straighten up and fly right.
But anyhow, it goes really quick. And if you're in a hurry to make a small quilt for someone, I'm going to go ahead and put a sash or a border around it here. And it turns out to be just a little bit larger than a medium-sized mattress. It's not a queen, a full. There you go. I lose my words. I'm sorry. I have gained another year in this past week, and it's taking its toll. So
That was only like 3 days. It wasn't a whole year.
this past year, I got to 74.
Okay.
That was my 74th year.
Okay.
Some people would say that you're actually 75 because of
I've
the way
started
they
it.
look at the year.
Don't
Not
listen to
the
those
way
people.
I look at it. And what I know, my mother told me, and that is when you reach 50, you start counting backwards. So in actuality, I'm in my 20s probably.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
6.
How about that? You like
Hey.
that one?
You're going to be
So-
below drinking age pretty soon.
Well, you can always reverse gears again, too.
At will.
It's
Anyway,
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah,
but that's
came out
how
really
it
nice.
turned out, and I just wanted you to see that you don't have to use those tiny little ones, the strips that Sue used that were so beautiful. You can use something that turns out fairly nice just using a regular jelly roll, and I bet you guys have one somewhere in your stash. I'll be using some of my
Oh,
others
be sure and
now.
comment if you do have a jelly roll.
And how many you have.
Okay, well, if we have just a jelly roll, nobody is going to comment because we have like 5 or 6
At least.
at least.
Took me a while to get up to that many. I don't know if I'm up to that many yet.
I have 5 or 6 laying around.
I didn't know what to do with them, but this is such a simple thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you like it. And if you have any questions, write Sue. She'll give you all the answers. I just sat down and sewed this mile-long strip of material with the cat's help.
I'm
So,
sure the cat had fun with that.